Alright, so what is good, everybody on YouTube? It is your boy Jay 3 times. We're back at it with another video in the building. Today, we are going to talk about different types of pay that you can get in the military. Now, I am getting you this straight off in the official source. You already know, official sources only over here. So, I'm going to just show y'all. I got this straight off of militarypay.defense.gov. You already know. And we're going to try to run through this quickly because it is a lot right here. And I'm not going to go too into detail, obviously, because, you know what I'm saying, it's going to be really long if I get into detail. But we're just going to go over the things, the basics, and, like, you know, it's whatever. But the first kind of pay that you can get in the military. I'm sorry, I'm speaking kind of weird. I do have whitening strips on, as you see here. See? I'm talking weird. That's why. But, like I said, anyways, the first kind of pay, and really the pay you're going to get in the military is called basic pay. Now, I'm going to read over really what basic pay is. And I'm going to do that for each and every section I get through. So, basic pay is a fundamental component of military pay. All members receive it, and typically, it is the largest component of a member's pay. A member's grade, usually the same as rank and years of service, determines the amount of basic pay received. Now, of course, when you get basic pay, that is like really the majority of your pay. That's your payment right there. You know what I'm saying? Now, your basic pay could be different. Obviously, if you're active duty or if you're in the reserves, so you'll get active duty pay where if you're active duty, or you get reserve drill pay if you're in the reserves. And also, you could get an annual pay raise depending on your pay grade, you know, your time of service, and your time and grade as well. So, yeah. Now, the next thing that we move on to here is special and incentive pay. Now, this is basically like, you know, extra pay for, we're just going to read it off here. Special and incentive pays provide the services with flexible additional pays that can be used to address specific manning needs and other force management issues that cannot be efficiently addressed through basic pay increases. Oh, I'm sorry. Well, we're gonna skip over that next sentence here. Unlike basic pay and allowances, which vary by pay grade and years of service, SNA pays can be used to improve recruiting and retention by increasing compensation in key occupation specialties or critical skill areas. So, basically, your special and incentive pay are like pays. They're like pay increases for, like, you know, like higher risk jobs, or like increased responsibilities maybe, or unusual job responsibilities maybe. So there are different categories for SNI pay, or special and incentive pays. So the categories are hardship duty pays. Hardship duty pay, hostile fire pay, and intimate danger pay. Assignment incentive pay, and hazardous duty pay. Okay, now, not gonna explain too much about that because it's gonna be really long if I do, like I said. Now we're gonna move on to allowances. Now, this is also another type of pay that you can get in the military. We're gonna explain what allowances are. Allowances are the second most important element of military pay. Allowances are money. Why does that say? Okay. Allowances is money provided for specific needs such as food or housing. Monetary allowances are provided when the government does not provide that specific need. For example, the quantity of government housing is not sufficient to house all military members and their families. Those who live in government housing do not receive full housing allowances. Those who do not live in government housing receive allowances to assist them in obtaining commercial housing. The basic allowances for basic allowance for substance, BAS, in other words, and basic allowance for housing, BAH. A majority of the force receive both of these allowances, and in many cases, these allowances compensate a significant portion of the member's total pay. These allowances are not taxable, which is an additional benefit for or of military pay. Now, there are different types of allowances you can get in the military. And we're going to go over both of these, well, all of these different types of allowances. Now, the one type of allowance you can get is BAS, which is basic allowance for substance, which basically means extra money for food. Now, we're going to go over this real quickly. BAS is meant for offset costs of a member's meals. This allowance is based in the historic. Oh my goodness, I messed that all up. I'm sorry, I apologize. Let me read that again. This allowance is based in the historical origins of the military, in which the military provided room and board or rations as part of a member's pay. This allowance is not intended to offset the cost of offset the cost of meals for family members. So when you get BAS, this is basically food for yourself. This is the military is paying for your food when they cannot provide food for you. So if you got orders somewhere, you know what I'm saying, the military cannot provide food, they can't provide like a chow hall for you, they're gonna give you extra money so you can go get food yourself. You know what I'm saying? And here what it says, the 2022 BAS rates for officers is $280.29 per month, while enlisted members is $406.98 per month. Now that is one type of allowance. Now let's get to the next allowance, which is BAH, which is very common, which is people, most members try to get, because that's a big, BAH is basically it is a big chunk of money you get, depending on where you live, depending where you're from, depending where you get housed, whatever, it really depends. But BAH is like that big chunk of extra money you can get. So this is why this is so common. We're gonna read it real quick. BAH is an allowance to offset the cost of housing. You do not receive housing. You do not receive government providing housing. Your BAH depends upon your location, pay grade, whether you have dependents. BAA rates are surveyed by the cost of rental properties in each geographic location. Therefore, BAH rates in high-cost areas will be much greater than those in low-cost areas. So yeah, and the crazy part about BAH, there's different types of BAH. Now we're gonna go over these real fast. We're just gonna run through it. We're not gonna get into the specifics or anything like that. But the different types of BAH are BAH with dependents and BAH without dependents. Of course, with children, without children, with the wife, without wife, you know what I'm saying? And also another type of BAH is partial BAH. The next one is BAH with, let me say it again. The other type of BAH is, count me times I say BAH, y'all, because I didn't say it like a lot of times, all right? Count it. BAH reserve component. BAH differential. So obviously, y'all, there's a lot of different types of BAH. And like I said, that is a good majority of extra money you can get, that you can possibly get if you're not in the barracks. So you get into the next type of pay you can get in the military, which is clothing allowance. We're going to read what clothing allowance is real quick, and there are different types, so we're just going to read it through real quick. But clothing allowances may be issued to help members pay for the uniforms. There are 4 main types of clothing allowances, which is initial, replacement, maintenance, and extra. Now, like I said, I'll probably just show you guys paragraphs, show you guys like the wording and stuff, but I'm not going to actually go into detail what these specific clothing allowances are, because like I said, it's going to be too long. So we're going to move on to the next type of pay that you can get in the military, which is dislocation allowance. Now we're going to read this off real quick. The purpose of dislocation allowance is to partially reimburse a service member with or without dependents for the expenses incurred in the relocating the member's household on a PCS, housing moves ordered for the government's convenience, or incident to an evacuation. This allowance is in addition to all other allowances authorized in this volume. It may be paid in advance. It is important to keep in mind DAL is intended to partially reimburse location expenses, not otherwise reimburse, and probably will not reimburse all of your relocation expenses. So this location allowance, like I said, it says right here, is like an allowance pay. This is the case if you're forced to move houses, I guess, apparently. I don't know exactly what this pay. I never heard this pay before, honestly, but yeah. So I guess it's pay that's reimbursed to you in case you have to move houses, or if you get evacuated and you gotta leave your home or whatever. So yeah. And we will also get to the last two types of allowances you can get in the military, which is family separation allowance. And I'm not going to get into that one. I'm not going to get in detail with that. I'm going to get into the next one. That's going to be it. And you also have family supplemental substance allowance. Now, I believe the first one I said, family separation allowance, I believe that, I read that earlier, and I believe that means like payment for when, obviously, if you're separated from your family. It's like the government like forces you to move away from your family, and they'll kind of pay you, I guess. Now, family supplemental substance allowance, I guess, is like money to pay for you so you can feed your family, I guess. I don't know. So, something like that. But if you look on militarypay.defense.gov and you go to the pay section, you will read and see more about it. If you read about it, get in detail, and then you'll see it. But yeah, y'all, that really is it for the different types of pay that you can get in the military. Hope y'all found that video helpful. Like, comment, and subscribe. Stay tuned for more content. It is your boy Jay 3 times. You already know what it is. Now check it out. Peace.